his big nose. Hey, mama booties. Hey, mama's booties. Hi, mamas. This is the doghouse, Ma. Is it my Jack? You say, we ain't get together. Well, Jack never been a jumper. And you, who are you? Still doing the twirl. Doing the twirl, Jack. The twirl. Dear Jack, my heart is forever torn, and I'm still just trying to process this great loss. But my mind is scattered with the reality and possibilities. They say that a dog enters your life to teach you about love and exits your life to teach you about loss. That you have never truly loved until you have loved an animal, and this couldn't be further from the truth. The grief I'm experiencing is greater than I've ever thought. Side effects of grief I only thought were exaggerations on TV. Such a blow is proof that even the strongest spirits can break. When my daddy passed, yes, I was sad, but we had an understanding before he left, so I was more at peace. But you is something different, like something was ripped out of me, leaving an incomplete feeling in my soul. For 14 years, you held a fragile spot in my heart, longer than any other, so I always imagined it would be different, that you were destined to be with me much longer, that your vessel would expire a very old age, and I would comfort you until your last breath, whilst reminiscing on the many wonders we shared, and dreaming about those we never experienced, yet thankful for the times we had. You were there to comfort me in my dark times, but it breaks my heart to know that I wasn't there during yours. Mommy didn't know you were going to suffer so. You had pulled through so much in your life, and I remained faithful that you would get through what seemed like a minor bite, but the subtext of it never crossed my mind. I thought the pit bull attacked because it was raised to be aggressive, or that it was just being a dog. I thought your immobility was due to your onset arthritis, soreness from the attack, and old age. I didn't know 2 shots and antibiotics wasn't enough, and I can't stop thinking of how afraid and alone you must have been. Confused about what you were experiencing and suffering in silence. Then you left my life, the same you entered, unexpectedly. July 2005, I was sitting in my room, reading, writing, playing a video game, I can't remember. Because when my sister-in-law opened the door and tossed you on my bed, nothing else mattered. All eyes were on you. Said they found you on the streets, just a tiny puppy, sitting there not knowing that for the next 14 years, you would give purpose to much of what I do. I not only opened my home to you, but instantly my heart. I named you Jack after Jack Sparrow. Sorry, Captain Jack Sparrow, because I love the character, and the Pirates of the Caribbean saga boost my inspiration to pursue acting. Anubis, because of my fascination with Egypt at the time. Jack Anubis. Your color, fur patterns, and everything was just right, and so the journey began. I groomed you into everything you became. Such a sweet boy. And during my last 3 years of high school, it was me and you, 24/7. Then I was off to college, and for the remainder of the years, it was back and forth whenever I could to be with you while I do this thing called life. When I went to Florida after graduating college, it was harder because I was no longer 3 hours away. Though I wanted to, Bringing you from Tennessee would have been risky. I was always working, always busy, and always away. Plus, the job became unstable a year in. But you gave me my biggest scare then. I was on break when I got a call that you were acting strange. Mama took you to the vet, and they said you had heartworms. I broke down and cried because I thought of losing you then. But the vet said there was treatments available, and even if it was in the early stages, the outcome would depend on how well you respond. I said, let's do it. It was an expensive gamble, but I believed you would overcome the odds. You had to have been 7 years old then. I wanted to be by your side, but couldn't. Not just because of the distance, but because your survival depended on me being there. I pulled overtime shifts at a job I disliked to cover treatments. It was a success. I checked in every day during the remainder days in quarantine before you were strong enough to go back home. Other than, Florida was amazing, and I wish you had your head out the window as we drove for a getaway to Clearwater Beach. I wished to stroll through Lake Eola Park and have sushi on the patio of that restaurant that catered to dogs, too. Even if it didn't happen, I do remember our road trip to Louisiana for Mardi Gras for Mama's birthday. Okay, well, you didn't go all the way, but we dropped you off, and my cousins with her dog Gigi. Even if it was a turnaround trip, I kept calling to check on my stinks. And the simple around-the-corner trips were also special. Like that time you walked up in Petco like you owned it, pissing on everything, and I'm like, Jack, I can't take you nowhere. The clerk just laughed and said we get it all the time. You were younger then, 2 maybe, and a whippersnapper. I recall making my mama breakfast as we got ready for school and left her sandwich on the counter to go get ready. She come in looking for it, and you sat there licking your lips. But you'd plant your kibbles all over the house, in corners, shoes, under furniture, and I'm like, Jack, we ain't in no food shortage for you to be hiding kibbles everywhere. Yeah, you had a few bad habits, like barking at night and going in the trash, but I quickly ended that, mister. A few things I'm glad you never did, though, was chase your tail, chew up things, and drink out of the toilet. But you weren't without flaws. Younger you was a jealous dog. If it wasn't a girl, you couldn't stand me touching another dog, or you'd have a fit. All the love only for you. And that's okay, because Mommy's heart couldn't hold any other, not even a fish. That time I walked our elderly neighbor's dog, Will. I named him that after Will Turner. You stood at the door and wouldn't shut up barking. Even out of sight, I could hear you down the street. Will was a sweetie too, but you picked a fight with him one day, and he showed you a thing or two. Sent you to the vet with a lampshade over your head. So you did that. That was on you. And still didn't learn. Hated every time I said his name, but Mommy did it to tease you. Yeah, you were a scrapper in your young years, but I'm glad, because you weren't a pushover. I saw that from the first time you were attacked by another neighbor's pit years back. Before I snatched him up, you held your own. And that time on our walk to the lake, 4 dogs come around the corner, but before I could react, you was on them. I held back the biggest one, because it had at least another 15 pounds on you, but you didn't care. After you sent the other 3 packing, you tried the boss battle, but I wouldn't let you. A bystander had to put you in her car and drive you away before I let that dog go. I scolded you afterwards and sent you to your room, but secretly, I was proud. We had each other's back. And I know that in your heyday, you would have given the recent one hell. But how I still wish I could have been there to protect you this time. Yet, I know you wouldn't have wanted that. There's the possibility I would have been bitten and gotten rabies instead. I can't imagine how that would shatter you as my dog, my companion, my guardian. It's taken me a minute to realize this, but I still don't know how to feel. Had Mommy just kept up with your shot records, you would have had a fighting chance. I hate what you endured. No matter the cuddles, the walks, the meals, the car rides, the gifts, the adventures, I failed to keep up with what was most important and blame myself for this pain. Mommy is so sorry. Though for 14 years nothing much has happened for me to be anal about it, I just let my guard down. That mentality of thinking you were safe at home, and home for the most part was peaceful, but death came to our doorstep. And for that, Mommy is sincerely sorry. It's not so much that you died. I mentally prepared for that day you would transcend, but only of old age. It's how you died that I am crushed. Either way, I still wasn't ready. Guess you can never truly be ready. But I tried to be, because of that time 2 years ago when you wouldn't get out of the car. I thought you were just being stubborn and wanted to ride again, so I gave your rear a push and you turned around and bit me on the hand. Never had you done such a thing, but I knew that wasn't you. It was out of pain. Took you to the vet who said you had hip dysplasia, a common thing in big breeds. I had to come to terms then that you were just getting old. They recommended medication and supplements, and though you took them for a minute, I didn't believe in confining you to that. I blamed the garbage kibbles we fed you all those years, which I still think contributed to your digestive issues. And since Mommy was on a natural, wholesome food diet journey too, I was excited to get my hunting license and get us some real food. I did. I was proud to have hunted a whole deer for you last year. I saw how much you enjoyed it and what feeding you predominantly meat did. You started losing weight, your mobility improved, coats got very thick and shiny, and my old man got his libido back. Yeah. Seeing you healthy is why I really wanted to hunt hogs and even volunteered at a processor to provide meat for you year-round. It was a good plan for a moment, one that I'm glad to have had the chance to do. I had hoped to be blessed with 2 more years with you by my side, and within that time, I would have made my big break. All those hours sacrificed away from you finally paid off. I wanted to get the house fixed up, create more memories, and then, in those final hours, I could be there as you slipped away peacefully. Would have been nice, but I don't write life, just make the best of it. Healing is a process, but don't worry about Mommy. I thank the Great Spirit for trusting me to love you as much as I could with all that I had. Upon your passing, I ask that your spirit and soul run free, to do as you please wherever you please, that you don't have to wait for Mommy to come home anymore. I want you to be happy in the afterlife as much as you were with me. You may be gone, but you left something special in my heart, in my life, that I have yet to describe but can feel. Something I know you'd want me to share with my next companion someday. The Creator has seen my tears I've shed, the imprint you left on my life, There's no way your spirit can be denied all you deserve. To roam freely and do as you please throughout the earth is my last wish for you. Remember 2018, that day in the field when I stumbled upon a four-leaf clover? Well, 2 days after you passed, you were heavy on my mind, and I came across a field of clovers. I had a split-second thought that if your spirit was really at ease, I would find a four-leaf. 10 minutes later, and only looking in 2 spots, I did. It gave me such relief that I dug it up by the roots and planted it with my other plants. That was my luck to find, my covenant. I've been tending to it every day since, and will for as long as it's able to last. I know, it's time to end this. I couldn't be by your side and couldn't give you the honorable burial I wanted, so I'm just picking up the pieces where I can. It's getting better day by day, but until we run wild again together, I love you always. Jack Anubis. Mayizima. My moony moony. My little wolf dog puppy fox. My bear, and whatever else I may have called you. You'll still always and forever be Mommy's good boy.